My favorite bee are native bumblebees, specifically Bombus vancouverensis, the Vancouver bumblebee. When we were at the first pollinator walk in the parking lot waiting for everyone to arrive, a little friend landed on my arm for about 15 minutes. Then as everyone was arriving, they got to see the bee up close and take some pictures of it, and it was really awesome. A pollinator can be anything that transfers pollen from the male part of one plant to the female part of another plant, resulting in fertilization. So insects of many types, as well as birds and bats. Some plants can actually be pollinated by the wind. For us here in Alberta, I would say that our native bees are the most important and effective pollinators. There's so many different types of bees in Alberta. We have our mason bees, our bumblebees, carpenter bees, sweat bees, a whole bunch of bees. And these are great pollinators because they have little hairs all over their bodies, as well as some bees have a structure on their hind legs called pollen baskets, which help the pollen cling to their fur as they go from one flower to the next. Most bees don't actually live in a hive. Some bees can live in a nest on the ground, and a lot of other bees are solitary bees, meaning they live alone, and they can create little houses in burrows in the ground, tunneling through the wood. Other bees will make their homes out of mud and some dried up plant material. I would recommend to start adding some native plants to your yard. They're very beautiful and they're very, very helpful for our pollinators. Some other things that Calgarians can do to help is maintain your yard a little bit less. So limit the use of herbicides and pesticides, waiting in the spring to cut your grass. A lot of bees take shelter in the long grass in the spring before they come out. As well, in the fall, wait to rake up your leaves. The Calgary Pollinators Project was started in 2021 by Dr. Mindy Summers. Her entomology class was collecting pollinator data for the city of Calgary. I was looking for a project with my master's on plants and pollinators, so it was a natural fit. So since I've started, I've taken over that project. Anybody that's willing and interested to help can do so. For our pollinator walks, we'll all meet in a park. There's a bunch of people that are very knowledgeable about plants, knowledgeable about pollinators. We all walk together and take some photos of pollinators visiting a plant. You can join iNaturalist and upload them to the Calgary Pollinator Project. Currently, we have about 6,500 observations. My goal by the end of the summer is to hopefully reach 10,000. I'm studying how urbanization impacts the relationship between plants and pollinators, as well as the preference of pollinators for native plants versus non-native plants. So I'm hoping to see that our research here lines up with other research around the world that native plants support our pollinators better. They are critical to biodiversity as well as to our food supply. So if you've had any fruits or veggies lately, you can thank a pollinator for that. Many animals in Calgary depend on our plants. Plants are also important for erosion control and stormwater runoff. In 2020, the University of Calgary was designated as a bee university. There are a bunch of native plant gardens. We have some planter boxes with plants to support pollinators. In the community garden, we have some bee boxes. We also have a biodiversity and bee campus initiative fund to help research on pollinators and sustainability. It's a great way to connect with the public and get people engaged and feel like they are helping with science. We're going to be having all the data hopefully play into our future urban planning and help out our pollinators.